Close to the camera.
He's
look. So he's 5 pounds right now.
We're here at the media day for the 2021 Bassmaster Classic on Ray Roberts.
This is a tank. Look at the size of this thing.
Progress we've made so far on our Hobie PA14. Got it wired up for 12 volt right now. We got the P127. That money!
That's a monster!
Got one. Took him long enough, didn't it? He knows. You know that's your outro.
I know, but I mean, like, I was waiting on you because, like, you just kind of put me on the spot, and it's like it didn't flow. Right?
Whatever. All right, guys. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to One Objective tonight. We have got an interesting show. We're going to be going over just topics that have been going on. One big topic that's been going on that you see on social media a lot, and I just want to put my 2 cents in it. I'm not going to beat a dead horse with it. There for a while, I think it was getting kind of ridiculous of how many people were doing a post on it. Like how many people were so upset or had an opinion on it. And eventually, like, I didn't even want to go onto social media at all. And, maybe that'll be another topic with this too, is like how much is too much when it comes to social media with posts and like topics, and you'll understand when I dig further into this. But anyways, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We got Chris. Chris, how you doing tonight, man?
They're pretty good. We out here.
You got a new family member?
Yeah, we got us a puppy a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. That's good, Dad.
His name's Bo. He's a black lab German Shepherd mix.
Oh man, is that like a particular breed, or is that kind of like what you call it?
No, I think it's just
like
happened.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Has it got the real? I haven't paid attention to it, but has it got the real pointy ears like a German Shepherd, or?
They do, but they're floppy.
Yeah,
it's like they're not floppy against his head like a lab. They kind of come up and then they flop. So I guess they're kind of like a mix between the German Shepherd ears and the lab ears.
Yeah, well, I know some people. My uncle had one. Had a German Shepherd. He ended up having to get the little, I don't know what you call them, like wire in them or whatever to make their ears stand up. I don't know why.
Yeah, we're not going to do all that.
No, I wouldn't recommend it either. But I just
let's say stand up when he gets older. But right now they're just kind of up and they flop down.
Yeah,
they're not flat against his head like a lab.
I got you. Well, that's cool, man. I'm glad to see y'all got you a doggy. So, but anyways, guys, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We got, like I say, a pretty interesting conversation tonight. We don't have a guest. I was actually working on trying to get a couple of guests lined up, but where it's so much going on with the end of the season with championships and some tournament seasons ending for a lot of guys, and just trying to get, things situated for the following year. It's just kind of a weird part of the season. September has always been like that for us with getting guests and all that. It's just been kind of weird. So I'm working on some stuff though, with lining up these guys to be on within October. So we're hoping we'll get everything straight with that, and actually have some interesting guests on here. But as you see through the bottom, coming through the bottom here, if you're watching, we got some really great sponsors to help support this channel, help support this show. And I just really want to thank Waterland Sunglasses. Great company to work with. I thought I brought my pair down here, but I think I left them up on the counter. But just wanted to show off those bed fishers and all that. I love wearing those bed fishers. That's probably one of my favorite pairs to wear, just because it wraps my face so well. And like early morning runs, like we're getting into right now, it's gonna be cool. If you ain't wearing glasses or something like that, your eyes get real watery. Sometimes it's hard to see.
Wind off of you.
Yeah, it keeps that wind off of you. And they got a clear pair of the bed fishers now that I really like to have for like running night tournaments and stuff. They say it's for early morning runs, but for doing night tournaments and stuff like that would be great too, because the gnats are just horrible at nighttime.
Oh yeah,
bugs and all that stuff. So, but I want to try to order a pair of those here soon. But also want to thank Missile Baits. They've got some really great products. They got anything from finesse to power fishing that you need when it comes to soft plastics, jigs. Got some really phenomenal jigs. I really like them, and some trailers that go along with those jigs. They did a really good job on designing a lot of that. So make sure you go to oneobjectivebf.com, go to our tackle store. You can check those out. We got pretty much everything Missile makes, except for a couple of their finesse worms. But other than that, We got pretty much everything they make. So also want to thank Amped Outdoors. Been running their batteries in our kayaks and in our bass boats, and just really here recently switched the bass boat over to the 36 volt amp batteries, and great, been working phenomenally. And it's just crazy switching from a 24 volt to a 36 volt, just how much longer it lasts. And on top of it went from like what 100 and I can't remember the exact pounds of thrust, but it was like it went from like 103 or from 103 to 109 or 112 or something like that on the front of that boat.
Oh wow!
When you really crank it up, man, it goes. And like, I mean, most of the time, like 4 or 5 speed is about as fast as you really want to go fishing wise, without accidentally throwing yourself over the side of the boat, you know, if you turn it really hard or something like that. So, but really happy with them. And also something else that Amp's been doing too, they're switching all of their batteries over to Bluetooth capability. So you can download the app, and when your battery's out there charging, you can check the status of it. You can see how much amp draw it's basically getting. Like if you're running your trolling motor and you want to look at it, you know, see, that way you can kind of get an idea how much longer your battery is going to last when you're trolling or any of that, like in a kayak and all that stuff. Yeah. So some great technology they're implementing on their batteries, and really excited to be working with that company, and really excited about what's to come for the 2024 season with them. So, but like I say, go support these companies. Also with Waterland, I'm going to put a link in the description here. And then also it's going to be on our iTunes description, everything. It's going to be a link there. Click on that and it'll go save you 15% on your next purchase with Waterland Eyewear. So pretty good deal. Like I said, they got some really great sunglasses and lenses and everything to match the conditions that you have. So anyways, let's kind of dig into a little bit of what we got going on One Objective right now. So me and James have been really working on getting camera equipment, microphone equipment, and all that, and really trying to put a lot of time in our One Objective Outdoors channel. Now, I know a lot of people think, well, man, y'all have been building One Objective, the bass fishing page, which you think would be where all our fishing stuff is, but where that channel has grown with install videos and kayak rigging and all that, I think the fishing stuff kind of gets pushed to the wayside. Since we've switched over to the outdoor channel, our views have actually gone up on our fishing videos, and we have less subscribers. You know, I mean, we just hit, and this is one thing I really want to cover tonight is a big thank you to all our subscribers. Chris, we just hit 10,000 subscribers. We're actually like 10,011 or something like that.
Not bad, hell. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, so I mean, I really want to thank
hard work paid off.
Yeah. I mean, man, it's been a blessing for sure. And, you know, I just really want to thank all of our listeners and our followers. It means a lot to us to hit that number. I know in YouTube world, compared to people that's got millions and hundreds of thousands and 30s and 50,000 subscribers, it's not a lot. But for us, for what we do and the amount, we don't spend a lot of time with YouTube. You know what I mean? Like some of these people are doing a video every day or every other day. Yeah. Where it's really hard for us. A lot of times we're lucky if we get one video a week with our One Objective Outdoors channel, much less One Objective, the bass fishing channel, you know, where we do all our kayak installs and rigging. So, but like I say, we've been working a lot on trying to improve the quality of our audio and the quality of our videos and a little more how-to while we're out on the water. And then something else we got too, I got a video that's going to come out. We got the bubble scales. And I haven't even talked to you about these yet, have I, Chris? The bubble scales?
I may have mentioned them the other day.
Yeah. So basically, it's a great opportunity for instance, like me and James to do a 1-versus-1, and we can make it go live. So if you download the Bub app, which is free, it's like an Instagram for fishing. Oh, okay. And then you can link your account to your scale to it. Okay. And it's when you buy the scale right now, you get 2 years free. Now, I think the subscription to the account is a little pricey. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think it costs a little bit to pay for it, but you get 2 years free when you get the app.
So the scale is useless unless you pay for the.
No. You can still use the scale, but it's the feature that you get with the app.
Oh, okay.
You can do.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still use the scale and all that, and have all. I mean, it's got a lot of amazing features with the scale, without the app, and. But the features that you get with the app is we could have a one versus one. You know what I mean? So you could be in the boat with me, and if you got like the app or whatever, you know what I mean, and we can. I think you got to pay for it to do the tournament part. I think that's how it works. And so we host a tournament. So as soon as we weigh a fish, so I weigh my fish, it'll post it up on to the tournament, and James will weigh his, and so it's like a real time leaderboard like MLF. You know what I mean? So so anyways, I'm still working the bugs out because when I went and fished, me and James did a 1 versus 1 on the Roanoke River down there in North Carolina, which was phenomenal fishery. And I can't wait for you guys to see this video because it was really fun fishery. Me and James both had a good time. I'm not going to spill the beans on how it went, but we had a really great time. But I wasn't live with my scale. I didn't figure that out until at the end. And so like all the fish I were weighing wasn't getting submitted, but I figured out what I did wrong. And now I know, what to do. So that's why it's always good to do these little test tournaments, testing things out, but it was really cool because like, say you can get, I can't remember how many you can go up to, but it's like 200 anglers you could do. And it's so many different ways. Like you can do only 5 fish, you can do 6 fish, 8 fish, or you can do all total fish. It's also got it to where you can make a rule where you take a picture of the scale as you're weighing the fish, and it's kind of like a Attorney X deal. You know what I mean? Just you're not going by inches. You're just showing where you're weighing it. Yeah. But it's just so many different features, and I can't wait for you guys to see the video. It comes out this Tuesday with it. So make sure you check that out on our One Objective Outdoors channel. And so, but that's what we've been working on. We actually did another trip the other day. We just went out for a couple hours. We had a little bit of time to spare. We was like, I didn't even bring no tackle down. James like, man, you can use my stuff. Let's just go hit the water. I'm like, cool. And we go down there and just had a really great time, just fishing for a couple of hours. It wasn't even like it wasn't a competitive thing with us. We was just fishing, but it's always competitive when you're in the boat because you're like, man, God darn, he's caught 5 fish already. I ain't caught nothing, But it was still fun. We had a blast and just kind of getting to some of the spots we had to. I mean, we were getting the boat hung up on stuff and like having to fire the big motor up to get over some logs. And, it was just, it was fun, but the river was really low. So, but anyways, had a good time with that. Can't wait to get that video out. We got a couple of good videos going to be coming out here in the next couple weeks. But also real quick, before we get into our next topic, we are doing a giveaway on our One Objective Outdoors channel. You can check that out on our Facebook page. You can also go to our One Objective Outdoors YouTube channel. We have a short up where I'm talking about all the products that we're giving away with it. So just make sure you go in there, check that out. Super easy to get into. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel. That's it. We're not waiting to any certain number or, it's just we're going to end up doing the contest ends this Saturday. Well, it ends the 29th. It ends Friday. We will be picking a winner on the 30th in the afternoon. And I'll tell you why in the afternoon here in just a little while. But it's going to be in the afternoon. This Saturday, we're going to pick a winner. It's a pretty cool prize pack. Just, some odd and end stuff from our sponsors and some odd and end things that we've collected over the a couple of years of just going to events. You know what I mean? And we always had these cool tackle that we never used. So we're like, man, let's give it away to some people that will use it. So anyways, really great stuff in there. So make sure you go check that out. Contest ends this Friday, September 29th. And we're going to pick from our subscriber list on YouTube to give away this prize pack. And we're going to do a short with it, when we pick the winner and all that stuff. So, but anyways, let's kind of dig into the topic that I think it has gotten, I'm going to say just burnt to the ground. They have just burned it to the ground and dug a hole.
Wore it out.
Yeah. It is just worn
Dug
out.
it up, burned it, and threw it back in there and dug it and buried it again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just time you open your Facebook, you're like, and where we follow, and a lot of you guys probably follow so many different pros, and everybody's got their own opinion, and maybe everybody likes to hear everybody's opinion. I don't know. I just get really frustrated when I see about 25 videos when I open up my Facebook. Man, I just want to go in and see fishing pictures. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or fishing tackle, or like Swim Bait Universe or Underground, or or new swim baits that people's been built and all. That's the stuff I'm looking for, or family pictures from cousins, and I just hate looking at the drama of it, and it's just very aggravating. But the live scope deal, like I don't understand it. I know where people are complaining about, because I know when I watch MLF or I watch Bassmasters and the guys are just staring at a screen all day, especially when they go up north. Like, that is brutal to watch. But when they hook up, it's pretty cool to watch them catch a monster smallmouth. Like, I love the fight of it,
Yeah.
But it's brutal to watch, because I feel like you're not, like Bassmasters is so big into teaching guys this art of fishing, you know what I mean? And like, you can't even see what they're doing on the live scope. They did introduce it a little bit for the Classic when Jeff Gustafson was fishing, and I think it was the Humminbird live imaging they had on there. Now, if they could get it to where you could see what they're doing up on the screen, that might change it a little bit, but I still think everybody's just going to get frustrated, because I think everybody much rather watch somebody bring a frog over the pads, or a spinnerbait by a brush pile, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to say necessarily just beating the banks, but like, you don't see many tournaments where people are out there cranking a ditch line anymore. Like, I don't feel like you see that anymore. I feel like everybody's throwing a jerk bait on them, or a drop shot, or a little shad on a jig head, and they're just dropping it out.
Put it right in their face.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back in the day when Kevin Van Dam and all them, they're out there using regular 2D sonar, or at least side imaging, and they're finding these ditches, and they're going out there and they're cranking, or they're working a jig on the channel bend of these ditches and stuff that you just don't see out there. I don't mind offshore fishing. It's just, what are you fishing, and how you're fishing it? And but I also really do like watching a guy go flip a jig or something by a dock, and when he catches it, or just stuff like that. I do miss the heyday of bass fishing back in like 99, 2000, 2001, all that stuff. When the good rap music was out, when the good bass fishing was going, the good rock music was out, like, it was just so much more enjoyable to read a magazine or watch it on TV on Saturday morning when Bassmasters came on.
Magazine, and what's that?
Yeah, what's a magazine anymore?
A magazine.
I do catch myself. Like, I got a bunch of them now, and I still get them. Where I think as humans, we are so consumed with social media anymore, and that, like, I hate to get like this on this channel, on this show, but like, our interest, we lose interest so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
So I've noticed it's really hard for me to read articles sometimes now. Like, I'm like, do I got ADHD or something? Like, I can't focus on something long enough.
It's harder for us because we're used to reading them in books, and it's hard to sit on a phone, put on a phone, and read it. I think if you had a book, you could probably sit there and read the whole thing. Would be no problem.
Yeah. It's just
too easy. It's too easy to. Let's look at something else.
Yeah. 5 seconds. When you actually look at your algorithm on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, and you look at I say the algorithm, but analytics, you look at your time, especially like shorts. Well, I mean, attention span of people you can watch most of the time is like 6-7 seconds of a video. You know what I mean? So that's why, like, it's so key. Like, I've noticed videos that are 30 seconds to 60 seconds don't do as good as somebody that has a 15-second video. Fish release videos do better for us than anything else that we do. It seems like, you know what I mean? Every once in a while you get that one that just stupidly goes viral, or not say viral, but gets 27,000 views or something. You know what I mean? But like fish release videos do way better than, they're short and sweet. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
they don't want to sit there and watch you fight it for 30 minutes. They want to watch you put it back in the water for 10 seconds.
Yeah. So, but kind of getting off the trail here, but getting back to the live scope, I think everybody's like, oh, we should ban it. We should ban it. It's never going to get banned. This is the deal here. And I've listened to a lot
It's going to advance even more.
Yeah, it's going to advance way more. And The problem is Garmin, Lowrance, and Humminbird pump a lot of money. And let me tell you why I know, because we've looked at sponsoring certain things with Bass. Okay. We've talked to some people, and to look at how much money it costs us to put an ad in a magazine is astronomical for a small business. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of money. And I'm not knocking Bass because they got a business to run and they know what they need and this is what and blah blah blah. But so when I look at a Bassmaster magazine now and I see like a Skeeter ad and it takes up 2 pages, you know what I mean? I'm like, holy crap, they just pumped a lot of money in that magazine right there.
Yep.
And then like you look at a Lowrance ad or Garmin ad, so these companies are pumping, they are paying the paychecks for a lot of people in Bassmasters and MLF and all that right now, on top of putting paychecks in these pros' hands, So for people to get so upset and pissed about it, it's not going to go nowhere. Now they might limit how you can use it. They might say live scope can only be used in practice. Okay. And then during the tournament, you can't have it. But I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be very hard to regulate that to an extent. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, are they going to take the whole graph off? They can't have nothing with it, because you can't just take the transducer off that easy. That's all on the boat. But like, you're going to make them take that graph off that they're using the live scope on. I don't know how you would regulate all that, especially down at a lower level, like these club tournaments. I mean, there's some club tournaments that don't want you using live scope at all. It's banned. You can't use it. How do you regulate that? Not unless you're doing lie detector tests or you got some.
I can understand a lure or something like that, but I don't know how they're going to.
Yeah.
Unless they just going to have people randomly drive up to your boat, or marshals drive up to your boat and say, "Hey, what are you doing there, buddy?"
Yeah. Yeah. You got live scope on, especially like a team event.
Have a marshal with them on it all the time or something. That'd be the only way you could do it.
Yeah. There's just no way that you could really regulate it. And I think if you take that away, if you take that technology away, I don't think it's going to, those companies are going to lose a lot of money, and they're not going to try to evolve too much more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because technically live scope, yes, it is a great tool, but it is a big tool for a lot of people that make a living off of it. Unlike us guys that are just going out fishing on the weekends and fishing derbies here and there. Yeah, you can make some money with it, but you're not going to make nowhere near what they're doing when money they got invested, so but I think it is getting kind of ridiculous with the amount of grass that you're seeing on people's boats now. Like
they got 4 and 5, some of them.
Yeah. I mean, they got.
And they're not little either. They're the big ones. They're not the little ones.
12 and 16-inch graphs, man. And it's just like, I can understand 2 in the back where you got one for mapping and one for graphing. I get that, but when you're starting to get to 3 and 4 graphs up front, holy moly! Like, it's getting kind of crazy.
And those are getting bigger too.
Yeah. So I mean, why not
small TV in front of you?
Yeah. Why not limit the amount of graphs that you can have on the boat? That would be my next thing. Okay. And then, for instance, like live scope, why not limit the amount of transducers you can have? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, some of these guys are running 2 and 3 transducers on their boat. They got one running perspective mode. So that's kind of basically going out like Humminbird 360, but it's not all the way around. You know what I mean? So, but they've also got, I've seen it where the guys have been running two of them, and it's one forward and one rear. So they can turn that trolling motor, and they got 2 different graphs. I mean, they're looking 100 yards, 100 feet. I mean, out each side. So, I mean, watch Scott Martin. Go in there and watch Scott Martin's last video. It might not be his last video now. It might be a couple videos down because he does a lot. And look at these graphs, and both of them are on live scope. 2 graphs are on live scope up front. So, also the thing now you hear too is people talking about, oh, they can see a mile out and all this rubbish. You can't see a mile out with them. I don't care what they say. You can't see a mile out with them. Not clearly, No. But they are making them to where like the saltwater versions can see like 500 feet out. So are these guys starting to run the Live Scope Plus for the Garmin where they can see 500 feet out? Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. I think maybe they should regulate that a little bit to see out that far. But I just don't know how you're going to really truly regulate this whole Live Scope deal and how you should get involved, because this is another thing. It's kind of my opinion, and I've heard other people talk about it, is we took the Alabama rig away in big events because they said it wasn't fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I understand the brutality to fish, but you can go down to a single hook Alabama rig, or you can go down to like Tennessee, like they do with a 3-hook Alabama rig. But we took that away because of the advantage it had of catching fish, big fish, if not double big fish at the same time. So we took that away. Then why not bring that back? What makes that any difference in live scope?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just I've just gotten really tired of seeing the complaining about it on the internet. Like I'm just tired. Cut off Bassmasters. This is my opinion, and I think what MLF did this year with their schedule. If you look at their schedule compared to Bass, and look, I'm not a big MLF guy. I'm really not. I like it better now they went to 5 fish limits than catching all these fish, because guys are catching 1 and 2 pounders all day long and winning. You know what I mean? It wouldn't force them to go fish them big fish, and I hate that. I do like they went to a 5 fish limit. I'm still not impressed with how the organization's run, how they have handled things that have happened within the organization. That's just from talking to several people we know within the industry of this. You know what I mean? But their schedule is by far the best schedule out there this year, or for the 2024 season, that I think Bass has got a long ways to go to compete with that.
Oh yeah.
I honestly think they got a long ways to go to compete with that schedule they got going on for next year. If you really want to make it to where these fisheries, these tournaments can be won more than just one way, you need to go fish some different bodies of water. It's okay to go up north, but to go up there and fish 3 events or 2 events end of the year where they're all basically the same deal. You go to St. Clair, you go to Thousand Islands, you go to Champlain, they're all doing the same thing. They're all doing it. So you gotta knock that out a little. Why not go to Potomac, man? I mean, you still use live scope at some of these guys will still use it. Why not go to some of these deltas? Chowan River, where the MLF is going. Man, that's going to be a heck of an event. That's me and James fished to Roanoke, and I have a feeling a lot of them guys are going to make that run. But it was a blast, and I just cut my live scope off and just started flipping and putting a flipping rod and a frogging rod in my hand. I want to see more tournaments like that. Santee Cooper, yeah, that can be a bed fishing event, or they can go out there with live scope and use it. But it's going to be different ways people are going to fish, and they all going to be live scope. And I think that's what people want to see: variety, not everybody doing the exact same thing the whole time. So you watch how Grand Lake goes for the Bassmasters Classic. It's a deep water fishery. It can be a deep water fishery, but Jason Christie and all them's done really well on that body of water, throwing jerk baits and stuff like that time of the year. Very curious to see how this event goes. But I did watch Chris Zaldane's video, and what do they call it? The Bilge. If you haven't listened to that, make sure you go listen. It's a very good podcast show. I will say, man, Trayton and all them, they do not like Jacob Wheeler and them. Like they do not like him. And it's funny to listen to it and to get their perspective on, like Chris Zaldane, you can tell he can't go into so much detail with a lot of stuff because there's a lot of stuff they can't talk about that's within the organization of bass that are not supposed to be discussed. And Trait tries to really, I guess, get it out of them. Sometimes it feels like, but she does a really good job of trying to get to the nitty gritty of what needs to be said. And she's very vocal about it. And I applaud her for that. But also Chris Zaldane, sometimes I wonder how he is, if he's like on pins and needles during that show. Like sometimes like, oh God, please don't say that. But they were saying that some people came around and was doing a interviewing several pros and asking them, somebody that worked for Bass, that what they thought about live scope, and doing like a poll, and what they thought about live scope and this and that. So I don't know if any rules are going to be changing this year for it. Maybe next year, I don't know, but we're going to see what happens in the coming year with this live scope stuff. And But you know what I was kind of getting at too. I'm kind of getting away from live scope now, but what I'm kind of getting into now with the social media thing is, I think it is very. I understand as a business why it's important to push a product, you know, but it's also aggravating to go on your Facebook and see, especially if they got about 50 or 60 pro staff members.
Yeah.
There's several companies in kayak industry right now they are great companies, but I feel like they just do it all wrong. I feel like they do it all wrong, and I think it needs to be managed a little bit different on the release of new products. You know, I'm going to give one company up here, Bonafide, for instance, with their new kayak they came out with. I bet you we had 4 or 5 people messaging us what we thought about that kayak. And I give my opinion. I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, Chris. There's supposed to be a motor, pedal drive, and paddle, and all this stuff. And it was all great, but man, like every time I flipped, like, because I'm friends with a lot of people from Bonafide, and you know, I know a lot of people on the Bonafide team, and when everybody's sharing at the exact same time, it's like for a week, like I didn't even want to open up Facebook no more. And you know, when you see a product that much, it's one or two things is going to happen. I guess they're either going to want to buy it, or they're going to get sick and tired of seeing it, and they're going to not like your company.
Oh, yeah.
It's just overdone. And don't get me wrong, the boat looks nice. I'm not going to take nothing from them on that. But it just got to the point where I just didn't even want to go look the boat up anymore, because like I've seen it so much. I was tired of seeing it, you know.
Yeah.
And I've seen it with other products as well. If you got a pro staff, you got 50 or 60 guys on your pro staff.
It's a lot of pro staff.
Yeah, I mean, why have everybody exploded out at one time? They sent out one mass thing. Here it is. Share it, guys. And everybody.
The entire company is on pro staff.
Yeah, and then everybody's so eager to share it to see who gets the most hits off of it. I guess I don't know.
Maybe they have like a competition. Somebody gets something for free if they share it the most or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was just I was done. I was done with the posts of it. I mean, I was just like, God Almighty. So, just let everybody know. Like, look, man, if you're coming out with a new product, let's say you're a small tackle business, okay? And let's say you got 10 or 15 pro staff guys on there. You're selling a jig. Let's just easy product. You're selling a jig, and you got a new product. Man, trickle that thing out there. Trickle it out there. Don't get it bombarded and blown up, because not people are going to get to where they don't want to see none of your posts anymore. You know, like it's just
like Farmville.
Yeah, the game.
Yeah, the game.
That was out.
That got very tiring to see very quickly.
Yeah, everything was.
This stuff is like the new Farmville.
Yeah, and it is. It's just really crazy to see like stuff just get like. That's why I really get tired of going on Facebook a lot anymore. That's why you don't see a lot of posts from us on there as much anymore as you do like on Instagram. Just I know we need to do it, but like I hate to even go on there and look at it, just for the fact that it's tiresome. It's the same stuff. Like you flip every other post is the same freaking thing. And I'm like, golly, like as a company and as an industry, like there's got to be a different way of like I said, getting back to the jig thing, have 3 or 4 guys here. Look, have your top guys, the guys that do really well with it here, post it out. You guys do it this day, and then you guys do it this day, and you guys do it this way.
Yeah, have them staggered a little bit so everybody's not blowing it up all one day. Yeah,
it's just crazy. So, but that's just my opinion. Everybody's got their different ways of doing business.
Yeah.
And, you know, I understand why some do it the way they do, but I just, man, enough is enough with that. I'm done with it. But anyways, let's kind of get off negativity. Let's get into fishing. It's almost fall. I mean, here it is.
Actually, it is fall. Fall started yesterday.
Well, yeah, it is fall. Officially is fall.
Officially fall.
So there's 3 major things going on. I'm going to add 4 to it.
Okay.
There's 4 major things going on right now. 1, fall fishing's coming in. It's cooling off, and it's going to get phenomenal for a while. 2, there's football going on. And I'm really excited about it because my son, 1, plays football. 2, I love NFL. I like watching
keeps people off the lake on Sundays.
It keeps people off the lake on Sundays. It calms down. School's back in and nobody's on the lake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that in there with fall fishing. That all that right there.
Yeah, it's like a little grouping of that category.
Yeah. NASCAR, which I don't follow as much as I used to, just because NASCAR's gotten kind of crazy. But it's coming to an end and they're in a chase, and it's fun to watch that part. I watch the highlights. I don't watch it on TV much anymore because I can't stand to sit around much longer and watch it anymore.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
I like the highlights of it. And the fourth one is deer hunting. Did I say that already?
No, you did not.
Oh, okay, just make sure. It's deer hunting. Deer hunting's coming in. Really excited. Actually, it's in right now. You can in Bedford County, you can hunt with a rifle for antlerless deer up till October. But it's been too hot here recently. And
that's something new they added. The antlers,
yeah, that's this year.
Season.
Yeah, that's this year. I think the insurance companies were hitting Virginia Game and Fishers up pretty hard with all the accidents and
all
that stuff. It had to be because now, to go in this early with rifle and
to make a special season for you, they had somebody had to lobby for it.
Yeah, and then both seasons are going to come in right after this, and actually this weekend. Is it this weekend or next weekend?
I have no idea. I don't hunt.
Both season comes in. So hunting season is really going to kick off, and it means muzzleloader ain't far away, and I'm excited about that because that's when me and my son love to hunt. So, anyways, fall fish is coming in. Really excited about that. Top water baits are really going to start playing a big role again. I mean, they do all year through all through the summer, but they really start playing in now. The jig bite's going to kick off again. I think that's really starting to fire up. Cranking, you know what I mean?
Cranking.
Yeah, and start cooling off. You're going to start getting into Alabama rigs again. So getting really excited about it. Today I was out there working. So me and James are going to be fishing the Big Bass Tour. First time we ever fished one of them. I've been really excited to fish this. You
never fished one before? I thought you fished one before.
No, never fished one. Well, since they've been coming around, we've been big into kayak and stuff. So it's always an event during the spring.
Yeah.
And then in the last 2 years, maybe 3 years, could be a little bit longer than that. They've come back twice. So they do it in the spring and they do it in the fall. So we're going to fish this fall. We couldn't fish the spring, which I plan to do next year. The problem with the spring one is we're at, I think, Hartwell this year. So we was fishing all the kayak events. Couldn't fish a lot of the local stuff, So we're really excited about fishing that. So all day today, I've been prepping baits. I've been bowling baits, getting everything right.
Boiling?
Yeah, I've been bowling my flukes.
Oh, okay. Get them things nice and limber.
Yeah, get them nice and straight. Because if you take them out of the package and they've been sitting there so long, they look all crooked like this.
Oh, okay.
So I've been bowling them, straighten them up. I actually had a few swim baits that I had to bowl and straighten the tails out on them. Been sitting in the box too long or something. You know what I mean? So just get everything good and straight.
Be out in that hot boat.
Yeah. Been hitting out there. Don't fold it up or something. So I've been doing that. I mean, we could probably do a video on that. But the flukes is important too because you just get better action out of them, when they're straight. So been getting all that rig, tying new baits, and just switching everything over, switching gears from summer over to fall, and getting some things ready that I'm going to be fishing for that. So, but we're going to be fishing 3 days. You can weigh a fish in every hour.
Every hour, yep.
So, but when you look at it, so the last hour that you can weigh in is 2 to 3. So depending on where you're at on the lake, if you catch a monster, then you got to run all the way back to Crazy Horse Marina. Could take a long run, So
yeah, especially if you way up near Indian or somewhere like that.
Yeah. If you're way up to Indian or way up to Roanoke, man, that's gonna be hard to get back in time.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
So
they have a fast boat.
Yeah. So if we're up that way, I think 2 o'clock's gonna be our lines out. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to catch nothing big on the first 2 days that I can't take the weigh in. You know what I mean? It could ruin the chance of catching it maybe the day after. So
yeah.
So it's a lot of strategy into fishing these things and when to weigh and all that, because I went through and looked at last year's top 10, and there was a couple of them that was like a 250 that was last place, which was 10th. So they pay out 10 spots every hour. 10th place is $100 and first place is $1,000. And you're fishing for a brand new bass boat. So whoever catches the biggest bass of the whole entire event, all 3 days, wins a bass boat. Nitro Z18 with the 150. So, but just trying to think about how I want to do my strategy and where I want to start. And it's pretty cool because it's like a kayak event. So you can be on the water, but you're not lines in until blank time, 7, 6, whatever time their start time is. And they send out a text or whatever. And that's when lines in, that's when you start fishing. But I was reading through the rules today. You can't even have your electronics on. So if I pull up to my first spot and I put live scope on and start panning around before lines in, that's illegal.
Oh, wow.
So you got to have all that off. And you just roll up there and sit there in your first spot. And then when it's lines in, you start fishing. It's like most tournaments, though, you can't share no information. So like me and James can't be calling each other during the tournament and, come
Steve
here.
will be on his boat and you're going to be on your boat.
Yeah. We're fishing 2 separate boats. And that way we can kind of fish freely. You know what I mean? And do what we want to do. And because James fishes a little different than I do. And I fish different than him. And, but we all got our different spots we like to fish too. So I figure 3-day event by ourselves, the ball's in our court.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of luck. You know what I mean? So, but just trying to figure out when to weigh those fish, if you got a 5-pounder, you about could go in there and get a check. Now, whether it's depending on the time you weigh in, could be how much you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who weighs in other 5-pounders, but just kind of looking at things, it looks like it's going to take at least a 3.5 to 4-pounder to cash a check most hours.
Yeah.
If you get lucky and you get that 2.5, that's just because most people didn't weigh in an hour and there wasn't many, you know what I mean? Then he brought in, you got lucky.
You got lucky to a chance.
Yeah. So it's a big gamble. And, Crazy Horse is way down there. So I'm going to fish 3 different spots each day, not unless I'm found a couple good ones and I just leave it alone. You know what I mean? Because you can only have 3 fish in your possession.
Yeah.
So I could catch 3 big ones and then go in there and start weighing in. But you got to think too. You got to, let's say it comes up 12 o'clock and you only got 1 big one. You know what I mean? You probably just need to run on down there and weigh it in.
Yeah.
And then maybe go back and fish in that area down there just in case you do happen to get another one or something. But it's a big gamble. It's a big mind game with it and when you should weigh and this and that. So I'm just excited to fish it. Never had the opportunity to. So, and we're going to film it all. We're going to film all 3 days. James is going to have his 3 days and we'll have my 3 days and give us 2 different videos for it, So I'm really excited about that and just getting out there and fishing. And I love this time of year. I've caught some really big fish. Normally September sucks for me, but it's when if it cools off enough in September, like it has, the September 1st of October, I've just kind of looking back at records and all that, I've done really well. So I'm just hoping I can make it play on into this tournament here. So
you caught a powerful fish at one September.
October. Yeah, that was a good 4-pounder or so. I caught.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm just ready to get on the water. So we're going to start that. We'll start Friday. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not exactly sure what time lines are going to be in, but I know that last weigh-in I think was at the 2 to 3 o'clock hour. So last hour. So we'll see how it goes. Guys, just stay posted with that or stay, I'll be doing some posts with Instagram and all that stuff. Yeah. So just make sure you keep an eye out on that. And
they have a site too if you want to check on everybody else or whatever.
Yeah. You can go on to the Big Bass Tour and click on Smith Mountain Lake and it'll have live results, as people are weighing them in and every hour. And you can see everybody on there. I mean, they'll weigh all the way up. I mean, everybody that weighs in an hour will be on there, but they'll in the top 10 get paid out of that hour. So
I wonder how many boats it's going to be.
I don't know, man. I know in the spring sometimes they have like 700 some boats. So I mean, it's gonna be crazy as hell on the lake this weekend. I don't know how many's gonna be in it, but in the spring, man, it's a busy one. They give away a rod to the first 50 or 100 or something like that sign up. So it's an Abu Garcia Veritas.
You don't have to put in a Crazy Horse. You just have to kind of.
Yeah, you can put in anywhere you want to put in at.
Okay.
As long as it's public accessible. Well, I guess it really don't even matter. I don't know on that part, but I know I'm putting in a public ramp, so it's gonna be public accessible. But but yeah, you can put in anywhere, drive around, but you can't be using your graphs to locate fish. And then once this line's in, then that's when it's game time. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be an interesting event. I'm very excited to get out there and do it and just see how it go. I just hope, man, I could bring like at least 2 fish and a whole weekend in. You know, 1 fish would be nice. I mean, I'll be happy if I can make $100 check just to get out there and do it. You know, so but I mean, I've known guys that have made a decent amount of money in a weekend on those events.
You know, this cousin got a pretty good payout for 1 fish he brought in.
Yeah, I mean, some of them guys have made a couple $1,000 just if they cash a check a couple times that week. You know,
Yeah.
so I mean,
I can't remember what it weighed, but he got a pretty good little chunk of change out of it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to be fishing again this fall too, right? I mean, this weekend.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Really excited to get out there, but no, I just kind of wanted to get on here. I know we ain't done a show in a while. We're working on getting some guests, and we're kind of going through some times with family and all that, just where family life is busy right now. So it's really hard.
Guests are kind of hard to come by these days.
They are to get a different guest.
They're busy and all this, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot of fall sports have started up, so they're trying to do stuff with their kids because it is their off season from tournaments. There's also championships that are coming up and all that stuff. So it's just a lot going on and just trying to get it. So it's going to ramp up as it gets cooler.
Yeah.
We'll be getting more guests on. So, and we'll be doing more podcast show. I know I keep saying that, but like it honestly, truly has been some of the busiest times for us with trying to do podcast shows. And man, I just, I hate making excuses, but on Sundays, sometimes that's like when we're trying to just finally wind down.
Yeah. It's only your day off. Day off.
So it's just tough. So, but anyways, we're going to do more of these pre-recordings and then maybe eventually get back to going live again and getting more people involved and all that. But if you don't mind, if you're listening
you
on
just have to pretend it's live.
Yeah, just pretend. I mean, and I will be posted, it's posted up on it's going to be posted up on Facebook. And
you just can't ask no questions in live time. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah, but you can still go in and make a comment or like it, whatever. So, but we're going to end it here. Yeah, share. That's a big thing. Sharing is caring. So, but guys, if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the follow button, depending on which platform you're on. Also, if you're on iTunes, make sure you go down and write us a good review if you really like the show. And I'm planning on doing a next show of like a big fall fishing, like in depth, what baits we're doing, where we're fishing, and what we're looking for, kind of deal. So,
a recap of the tournament.
And a recap. We're going to definitely do a recap of the tournament, good to bad to ugly. And like I say, stay tuned for the videos for that. And also check out One Objective Outdoors. We got a lot of new videos coming out, fishing-wise, fishing content, and fishing tips. And then we're also going to be working on trying to get our hunting content going. We're looking at ordering mounts for the tree stands and just odd and end things, which is so difficult to record a hunt. It's really tough because you just don't know where to shine that camera and when they're coming without spooking them to make those adjustments, So I give it to them guys that record hunts because it's really tough. It's really tough to do. So, but we're going to be doing some of that this year. But, like I say, if you haven't, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the follow button, share the video, and make sure you get entered into the contest by going to subscribe on One Objective Outdoors. Contest ends on the 29th, September 29th. We'll be picking a winner on September 30th that afternoon. Not sure exact times when we get off the water. And but other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Chris, I appreciate you taking the time to come on and help us with it and talk.
Glad to be here.
And other than that, guys, we'll talk to you later. See you.
See you.